What's something people don't know about podcast disclaimers? They're the ultimate cover our butts move. All right, folks, let's get real. You know those disclaimers at the start of podcasts? The ones that say these opinions are our own and not our employers, friends, or anyone who might sue us. Yeah, those. Why do we need them? Because Stacy and Casey here, well, we might say something bonkers. And we don't want you blaming our bosses, our moms, or that guy who bagged our groceries last week. Nope, it's all on us, people. Think of it like this. We're just two dudes with microphones and way too much free time. And while we're at it, let's be clear. Our jokes, rants, and random thoughts, purely our own genius or nonsense. Depends on the day, so sit back, relax, and remember, if you're offended, it's definitely not because of our employers. It's all Stacy and Casey, baby. Covering our butts, one disclaimer at a time.
What it do, baby? What it is, Jive Turkeys. My name is Casey.
I am Stacy.
And we are
The Stacy
and Casey Show, where today you can have an intellectual conversation with Stacy and Casey, your hosts, where we don't pull punches, we don't pull your leg, and we don't pull out. We both have children, is what I meant. Anyways, how you doing, dude? How was your week?
My week.
Since
Weekend
last
was
Tuesday.
good. My weekend was good. My week was decent.
Yeah.
Little man showed out at the basketball game. He did do well.
Bragging earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he should. Honestly, he works hard. I think that we're the ones that instill the confidence. So
Hey, I opened the door for him to gloat on himself, and he did not hesitate to tell me how the end of that game, he hit the shots from all the different angles.
he did. He
Yeah.
did. He's impressing me. He's getting better. As far as other than that, I just got a weekend off. Got to relax. So that was nice. Which
Mhm.
obviously you got the school. As far as step up coming, so I'm excited about that. Friday he has a step up ceremony, so get a big first grader coming soon. He's excited.
Oh man, I
So,
remember those days, man.
as far
Oh.
as other than that, it's been pretty normal. What about you?
Man, every day is a blessing. No, it's been wet as fuck, so I'm so excited that today it's been juicy outside. Super. Hey, that's the word of the day, by the way. The word of the day today is juicy. We'll get into that in a second, but let me finish on my
Juicy,
week was.
moist, all of the things people don't like.
Just like getting to the juicy part, you got to cut me off. All right, let me make this quick. Just kidding. Oh, sorry, I keep messing with my thing. Another thing that's going on this week. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday, 10 o'clock. I get the stitches out. I got the stitches from getting my tendon repaired from the whole knife incident. But speaking of which, that's what I've been doing, working on my knives. Check this shit out. Okay. This is a case or a sheath. Yeah, let me use the right terminology. This is a sheath that I made out of a leather canteen bottle.
Take it closer to the camera.
Out of a leather canteen bottle that I got from my buddy Clark for a carton of eggs. And I got to tighten the strap to hold the knife in there because, as you can see, it doesn't really serve a purpose. But this is part of an antler.
That bad boy shiny.
Oh my god, yeah! It says a little BC. I put in the blade up here for bone cutter because cut my bone. And yeah, the sheath is homemade. I got the leather punch, leather straps. It's secure. It looks like granddad's
It is
knife.
beautiful, ain't it?
You know?
Wait till you see what he's been cooking up, though.
And Band-Aid's coming off. That's gross.
Juicy J, where'd he go? It's funny because Paula, when I heard Juicy, that's the first thing I think is Juicy J.
This is the knife I've been working on, and it's in the progress. This is the one.
Bad bone.
Hey, this is all Stacy right here because he told me his favorite blade type, and I mimicked it with this billet here, and I put an edge on here after watching.
Blinding us, my man.
After watching a video on how to properly use the sharpening stone by the man who started MK Knives, and I mimicked what he did. And man, you got some paper? This shit will just.
Yeah, it's sharp as
fillet paper.
It is.
I got paper, but I need those notes. And the last thing I've been working on is it looks just like a railroad spike, which it is. And at the end, I'm actually I got it squared off, and I'm going to use my grinder to put the letter T with the little dash on it like an F. It's going to stand for Tinker Falkengrin, which is my blacksmith name. Tinkerbell is, my nickname.
It's gonna use it as a stamp.
I'm gonna
Stamp the blade.
Yeah. So every time I make a blade like this one here, I'll heat up the blade red hot. Boom, stamping. So whenever you see a TF on there, get the fuck back. That shit is sharp. It cuts bone. Okay. So that's what I've been working on.
Check them out on Casey Falkengrin on
and-
YouTube.
And this weekend we're on vacation. My wife and I are putting all of our pepper plants outside in the ground. Her mom's coming over, having a sleepover, staying the night because she lives in the city. So don't want to make that long ass trip.
Who you telling?
And speaking of making this case right here, hey, pull that picture up if you can. Here's a picture of the part of the process. I had to soak the leather in water and then wrap my knife in saran wrap and tape, and I put a blow dryer on top of it to dry it in that molded position. So that way, it was
Custom fitted to the blade.
custom fitted to the blade. That's what I was looking for. So, anyways, that's what
That's
I've
why
been
you
doing.
can have me selling them for him. Or you can find us at your arts and crafts. And
Yeah,
you'll find us
baby.
online. You'll be the master forger. But no, it's honestly, it's crazy to think that he picked this hobby up 2 months ago? If
It-
that, 3 months ago.
Been a passion.
But you actually
for a
started
while, but-
doing it, is
Yeah.
what I mean. As far as 2 months ago, 3 months ago,
Yeah, I got my
And-
forge a couple months ago.
and how far have you come?
Man, I've only
Show that
made
again.
5
Again,
knives. Well,
been doing this now
well,
for a couple months. He's done the leather work for the blade. He's done the blade.
Thank you.
Give this man the kudos, man.
This
Like
is,
this is amazing.
that's actually a very nicely.
I
what is
know.
that?
Hey, that's funny. My sister-in-law had license plates that said moist. That
Oh
is
my god,
hilarious.
Yeah,
Because
I know who you're talking about. That's hilarious.
to think that that's a word that triggers so many people, but I don't know. Oh, you might have heard that boom. Somebody might have died
You know what?
upstairs. Who knows?
I think it was Dimitri. No, not Dimitri. It was Bo Burnham. He actually said, "If you think you're the first person to say that your least favorite word is moist, we know you don't like the word moist. Actually, you're an asshole for saying that." So it's like, you get it.
You can see it
It's
immediately.
a cliche word. Nobody uses it
She
in
was
real life.
anything but.
Yeah, and speaking of my mom, that Stacy read to me what you posted on the Facebook post. That was pretty hilarious. So kudos to you. Kudos
Shout out
to
for
you.
getting the conversation started. Let's put it that way. It's it's crazy to think.
Oh my god!
So I'll just say I made a Facebook post about
Can you read my mom's
why
response?
I made a Facebook post about why do people have a problem with people not wanting drag queens reading books to their kids, and are they okay with a felon reading to their kids? Now, unfortunately, nobody has even noticed the second part of my question. I feel like nobody noticed the felon part. And when they did, they immediately brought up Donald Trump. So I was like, of course, they're obviously a dumbass. So we're going to leave that one alone. But she was to the point from her words. She made it very clear her stance. I think there were other people that were trying to push agendas, and it was a conversation that I wanted to get started because I wanted to show how many people can't stick to the point, right? I asked a very specific question. I should have used the word school in there. People tried to run with it left, tried to run with it right. What about this? This should be an exception. Why does it matter? It matters if it's happening at my school, right? And not saying it did happen at our school, not saying it all, but I think this is where you get little assimilations, right? Where we were just talking about before the show, California, saying that the Democrats in California not passing the law to make it a felony for sex trafficking minors, right?
Yeah,
I
you
look
just
at
read that.
yeah, exactly. And I look at everything like an agenda. And when you look at it, the overall picture, I feel like that's an agenda. Like Nona said on there, she made it very clear that obviously these are grown men that want to fuck whatever, be something different, right?
Influence children
And they want to influence kids. And I have a very strong stance on sexual education shouldn't even be taught in elementary school.
When
right?
do you think is a good time to bring a
I'm
tranny into your kid's life?
Oh no, that isn't the question I thought you were going with. I will say this is a conversation I wanted to have. We didn't talk about yet because I said we'll just have general combo. But when is the right and appropriate time in your mind to start talking to kids about sex?
When you find it in their Google search bar.
Fair. Hey, that's a fair answer. For me, it was
That's from experience.
puberty or when they start asking questions, right? Because when you're asking questions, you've obviously experienced something or know something. You know what I mean? Like a perfect conversation to have would be, and I'll give you an example. I told you about Stacy having an incident at school learning the definition of gay, right? And I asked him, "Do you know the definition of gay?" And he explained it to me. And it blew my mind because kids are so advanced that now I'm having a conversation with a 6-year-old explaining that don't use this word. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because you learned this on the schoolyard at your elementary school. And that was an awkward thing for me because it made me bring up a conversation I didn't think I'd have so early. You're saying the Google search bar, but some kids don't have that and they learn it at school. What are your thoughts there?
I think Google search bar and school are pretty much the same things. It's two different social media platforms.
Touche. That's fair. I can't knock that. But I only ask that because I think about it having a younger kid. I don't have daughters. God, I feel for those who have and had daughters, having to have that conversation.
I remember making poor drawings when I was in first grade. So it kids think about
You were
stuff.
drawing dicks in first grade?
I was drawing really bad pictures of naked people.
That's crazy.
Really bad.
I could make a
pictures.
really funny joke right here.
I can.
So I
This is
just
back
because I
up
want
there.
him to laugh.
Anyway. Very poor pictures. You have a cute laugh. No diddy.
Fucking it's juicy, right?
That's juicy. Your laugh is juicy, bro.
Hey, that was funny as hell because I wish I could tell you guys what was said, but his genuine reaction was perfect in silence.
Oh yeah, no, it was funny. It's
Oh,
an inside
look,
joke.
hey,
I'll
your
explain
mom
later.
says you were such a horn dog. Hey, where'd you get it?
I
He
was a
must have
flirt.
learned it
I was a
somewhere. And she's
like-
gonna make me say
Couldn't help
the
it.
joke.
I was a good-looking kid. I don't know.
At 6?
Yeah, all the older guys
It's-
like that.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm just kidding. No older guys. Well,
Wait
I
a
don't do
minute.
that.
I don't really know, but maybe they did. Shake them luscious locks. Hey, what he said was he's got his rich white man jet ski hair.
I guess
I love
I
it.
got rich man jet ski hair.
I love it.
That's
I love it.
That's what Nieder told me at work.
You do. You got
Yeah.
that shake it. Shake the luscious locks.
Dude, they're so luscious. When I go back and I grip it, I was like, man, if I was in prison, forget about it. I would not last 2 seconds. People would be like, "Play with your hair." I was like, excuse
Can
me,
I
did you
braid
say
your
play with
hair?
my hair, but you're gritting your teeth? I'm not gonna play with my hair if you're
Hey,
gritting
don't
your
eat the
teeth when you
candy on the
ask.
pillow, right?
I don't know if girls know this, but if a man asks to play with your hair, but he grits his teeth when he says it, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a
Don't go to
flag.
the second
flag.
location in that situation.
Yeah, don't go to a secondary location and blow your whistle.
Look, hey, whoa, you want to be the mama or the papa?
Oh, yeah. You want to be the mama or the papa? That's the first question they ask you in prison.
That's fucking wild. Like
I'm
a place
kidding.
that is wild. I will say that's crazy. I'm still thinking about what I said to you.
Hey,
That's so
the juicy thing though. Speaking of which, we teasered that inside the little clip beforehand. I was asking people today for the hell of it. I don't know what made me think of it. Maybe I was thinking in my head I wanted to call a guy juicy, but it was like no homo because I'm not gay. But I started asking people, hey, what would be a situation that you'd call a man juicy without sounding gay?
Juicy J.
The first person I asked, he thought about it for a second, and he said, if a DJ name was Juicy. I say, hey, what's up, Juicy? I said, all right. I guess that's not gay. That's a good example. I asked another person. I was like, when would you call another man juicy without being gay? And he thought about it for a second. He goes, if I had two friends named Chris and one of them was a Jew.
I don't know.
Juicy? Jew Chris? I was like, that's clever. And I was thinking, on the same note, if you had three friends, they're all Jewish, and you always forget their names, you can name them Jew A, Jew B, and Juicy. So that'd be not homo.
That'd be not homo.
Well, I asked this. I don't know. I'm in that mode right now because I asked some young kids. Because
you're right. He is a horn dog, ain't he?
No, I say young kids, but this kid's like 25. I asked him the question. He goes, I don't know, man. And then I got to realize you're 45 asking a 25-year-old this. And then I got to like back up a step and be like, no, like, no homo. I'm asking you the question. And I gave some examples of like the juicy thing, the juicy. And he was like, oh, I don't know. If somebody was gushing blood. I was like, there's a good answer. Okay.
That's wild.
If you're
That's
blood,
wild. If somebody looks at somebody gushing blood and
bro,
says he's juicy.
Your lips juicy.
Hey,
it's like you have blood all over your face. Okay, that's a good
when is the time you don't want to hear it outside of prison? Prison doesn't count.
When somebody
You're engaging in a situation and you hear a man call you juicy. What is the nightmare situation?
What would be a bad situation where someone says, dude, and says you're juicy in a situation?
You're in a back alley about to get into a brawl with another man, and he says, you juicy. What is taking that juicy booty? You'd be like, what? Like, sir, I'm going to go this way, you go that way. And if you move at all, I'm going to have to engage in a different mannerism than normal. But that wouldn't intimidate you? You're about to fight somebody and they're like, I'm going to take that juicy booty.
I would try to like think of something to throw them off, like something you never heard before.
Or would you just spin around and be like, take it then? And that would probably throw them off.
I would say, how much booty would a woodchuck chuck if a booty chuck could chuck wood? I don't know, something like that.
Then he'd grab your luscious locks. And he'd
stop right there.
I know. I was like,
you're playing out my fantasy. I'm just kidding. Man, I've been referencing being gay way too much.
I know. I'm starting to get nervous. Paula, check this man. Give this man some pussy. Okay?
I'm gonna. We don't call it that. We make sweet, passionate love.
Give him some kitty
and we don't talk about it in front of people. If you want to see it though, you have to pay to see our website. See him on OF/Casey Falkengrid. From 12.
That's bullshit.
To 12:01 at night. We're online.
Oh man.
And that's what. Yeah, a full wrap up. What?
Paula, get a room.
Get a room.
Oh look.
Yeah. So anyway, a situation somebody.
What's wild is this man at work. Like imagine you're walking through work, and I just want to say this is what fucked me up today. I come back from. I actually get to work at lunch. I'm walking up the hill, standing there smoking a cigarette. Another gentleman comes out, and Casey says, "Hey, if you were going to kill yourself, and how would you do it?" Like
I said it a lot quicker than that, so it wasn't obvious. But
he said it, and like in my brain, that's how I heard it. Right?
Hey, if you had to kill yourself, how would you do it?
The dude goes, "I drive off the Grand Canyon in an IROC Z Camaro. What do you say? 3 hookers in the back and some crazy shit."
I'd be high on Colombian Bam Bam in a green 69 Camaro. Going off the Grand Canyon, and that's not even bringing up the hookers.
Yes, dude, I was stunned.
He did not even miss
stunned. Hey, this is why Chris is a champion of what he does.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He blew my mind.
If only I
had that answer that quick.
And actually, I asked a couple people this question, and some people were light and some were dark. So I'm going to give you an example of two.
How would you do it, Dom?
I would just give my throat to a tiger and let the tiger just suffocate me because it's a cool way to go and it's going to be quick.
Would you do it?
Overdose.
Anything specific?
Probably a bunch of fucking, I don't know, sleep meds or something.
All right.
I'm scared for the second person because the way he went into like deep, dark depression when he answered that, I just want to say, if you need help or you need somebody to talk to, you're more than welcome to reach out. You can talk to us anytime. You may not get the answers you like,
Dude,
but we're going to be there to help you through it.
that was right after getting the lighthearted answer you're talking about. And if
Dude.
you hear my nervous laugh at the end of it, it's because I had the same exact thought in my head.
Like, don't go home and do this.
That, and he had that look in his eye like he just thought about it recently.
I know, like he had the look like I need to dial the.
And
the hotline.
another serious answer I got, and I asked this question.
I just noticed that I'm gonna have to talk to him at work tomorrow. Are you okay?
I'm not. I told people I wouldn't bring up their names, but I asked the funniest person that I know at work that question, expecting to get something maybe a little bit creative and funny, and it was rather dark, but it was very honest. He's like, "Well, I guess situational. I would think that if I found out that, say, my son just died in a car accident, I'd go home and use a 9mm to the head. Now, if my wife left me and I was a total loser, my dick couldn't get hard, and I was all out of money from cocaine, I would probably close the garage door and just run the car and die from exhaust." I said, "Wow, that's dark." He said, "Well, it's honest." So you got a lot of like,
Don't try this at home.
you get a lot
Like,
of interesting
all I
answers.
can say is, don't try any of this at home.
No,
Don't try any of this at home.
Hey, you know what?
But Casey, how would you do it?
How would I do it? All right, okay, and first off, the number one answer I got from asking a bunch of people the same question. Before I tell mine, I'm going to go over a couple of other people's. I asked one person, this is a very interesting answer to the question. I asked him, and he thought about it for a second. He looked at me, and this is someone who doesn't talk a whole lot, but he was like, "I'd make sure my kids are set up." The first thing went through my head, I was like, "So you'd set up your kids so you wouldn't die?" But they would. That's where my evil went. No, but he was like, I was like, "Oh, so like by you dying, it's in a fashion in which they would be set up for life in one way or another." And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "That is badass. That's a badass answer." Everybody else talking about like lines to the room. I thought that was pretty cool.
It's funny 'cause that was my answer, damn.
I asked another dude, and this is pretty funny the way he answered it. He was like, because he answered the question really quick, but then he elaborated. He goes, "Oh, I would OD," and then he laughed and he said, "That way you don't remember it. He said, you might be throwing up a lot, but somebody else has to clean it up because you'll be dead." And I was like, "Okay, that's a good one." Somebody said, "Okay, this is funny. This person first told me they would jump off of a high building in the city, but make sure to be in traffic, in the middle of traffic where people would notice it." And the way he said it was like it was elaborate, like exciting. But I was like, "It's you really just jumping off a building. People have done that."
People have done that.
An hour later, right before he goes home, he runs up to me like he had something important to say. He goes, "I take that back. I would actually find a really fast car that I really wanted, and I'd get fucked up and drive around till I crashed it." And then he's like, "All right, man, see you later." And he ran out the door, and I was like, "All right, he's been thinking about this since I fucking asked the question." So I'm glad we're able to ask the questions that get your mind juices juicing. Your mind
in
looks
the worst direction.
Your mind looks juicy right now.
No, I'm thinking in my head, like in the state of mind and being of a lot of our coworkers right now, approaching them and talking about suicide. They have answers because they probably thought about it.
Hey,
That's fucked up, but
the
it's
number
real.
the number one answer that I've got heard more than anything was skydiving.
I knew that.
And
You didn't even ask me. I wanted that answer. You were supposed to ask me. I knew it was skydiving because that was the first thing I thought. The very first thing. And I was like, that was just a quick answer off the top of my head. I'm sure everybody did that.
would it be skydiving and
No,
that
that
alone?
wouldn't be my answer.
What would be like if you had to lay it out? Where, like, it'd be a positional thing? Where would you do it? How would you do it?
Kill myself?
Well, you
I
said, no,
wouldn't.
no. Not
I
kill
wouldn't.
yourself. We already talked about that. Nobody's killing themselves. This is a jokey question. But then you said skydiving. That's so
No, I
vague.
said that was the first thing that went in my brain when you said it. My answer would be
Somewhere
skydiving,
beautiful?
like I said. So my answer wouldn't be skydiving.
What would
So
it
I
be?
didn't think about it. What would mine be?
Yeah.
If we're gonna really, it depends on, again, like Chris said, right? Like,
Situational.
if I'm really just, my whole world is over, right? Like I've lost everything, right? For those who know me, I don't have a really extended family that I communicate with. I have my son in Asia. So if they weren't here, again, I just couldn't see myself doing it, but I'd have to do it with a bomb, like a grenade, like hold it close to my chest and blow myself into pieces. So whoever found me had a really fucked up cleanup so I can fuck somebody's day up like mine was. And then they're going to be traumatized and think about it till they maybe do it one day because I'm that fucked up of a human.
All right.
Right. So, like, I'm going to be honest. Now, on the other side of it, like, oh, damn, you have to save your son's life. You got to kill yourself. Quick, what are you going to do? Right? Like that kind of situation?
No, I was thinking more like, you're just gonna kill. You have to kill yourself. You have to pick away. You have to go. Bye bye. Yeah, you got 5 minutes for like the forged in fire. All right, you got 5 minutes for planning. Go.
I do what they did. The one guy did that stole the plane.
Okay, there. I heard that answer.
That
One.
shit would be cool to like fly around a plane, and at the end of it, we're gonna let God take the wheel. If I can land this bitch, I'm going to prison for a long time. If I can't land it, then I'm going where I just said I was going. So
I have a jokey answer and I have a serious answer. The joke answer would just be for the biggest kaboom. I would actually, I'd be like akimboing a couple grenades, right? You know those target things you shoot at that blow up when on contact? I forget what they're called.
Tannerite.
Yeah, I'd get a bunch of packages of that and I'd duct tape it to my chest, and then I'd jump out of a plane and like right near like a outside meeting on depression or something or post-traumatic stress. I don't know, some sort of meeting and I'm like in the vicinity and I come down and when my little alarm goes off says 3 seconds, you're gonna hit the ground. I let go of the grenades so that way they go off at 3 seconds. At the same time, I'm making contact with the ground, blowing up because of all those things on my chest with the grenades going off. And then everybody in their
You're trying
meetings.
to take people out with you.
No, this is like in the vicinity, like a football field away.
What you're saying is
they
going to
see
take.
it happen
Do you
in
know how
a big,
large a
in a
Tannerite
big red
blast is?
mist. And
Ancient
long story
Greek.
short, all their problems are meaningless now and they live full lives. Now, my serious answer is I would hold my wife's hand and
You heard
jump
me,
into a
Nona.
volcano.
So you're going to take her with you.
150%
That's
because
wild.
hey, and babe, hey,
Wow.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey,
Let me
hey,
elaborate.
I just want to say this real quick. He's the white man that kills the family and the dogs, guys. That's crazy. You're going to take her with you?
I wouldn't even ask her. I'd be like,
Let's
babe,
go on vacation.
don't ask me why, but this has to be done. And I just grab her hand, we'd walk up the thing. She's like, this is beautiful. I'm like, yeah, too bad we're jumping in it. And we'd,
Too bad we're jumping in it.
because let me elaborate.
She's going to try to stop you?
No, because if I had to kill myself, for one, and that's the situation, the hypothetical situation, I know that my wife and I have such a connection that she would not want to live without me as much as I wouldn't want to live without her. So if I knew she was going to die, I would want to grip her hand
Hey,
and
but
jump with her.
Paula got grandkids, kids. Like she's got
Paula,
other
who
things.
cares? No, you're going down with me.
That's crazy selfish.
We're going down with me.
Hey, Nona,
We're
you heard my
we're going
first
live.
response and second response and third. I can't do it. I wouldn't do it. And I'll
Bob,
be
it's a
honest,
hypothetical jokey
I never
situation.
really ever thought about it, like how I would do it. I mean, to me, it's all cowardly. So,
Oh
for the
yeah, of
record.
course, and that's but as you see with some of the
True facts.
responses
I
we got,
love you,
it's
babe.
jokes. Okay,
damn, y'all are morbid.
who's morbid?
Paula said true facts. I love you, babe.
See, I love you too, babe. I can't wait to come home. Give you
That's the
kisses.
Tom Hanks ending. Joe versus the volcano.
You know what? And I thought of that too, and I was thinking, oh, that's how the pedophile did it in that movie.
With
Oh, I
all the
can't say the
jokes
P
and
word.
the gay jokes, and yeah, you know, it's looking real juicy. Is all I'm saying. Might have a juicy story down the line, folks.
And my socks say
Man.
Dickies on them.
Hey, you don't know how mind blown I really am right now that you just said I would grab my wife and take her with me. Like, that's crazy. Hey, that's so crazy.
That's romantic.
No, the fuck it ain't.
That's romantic. That's
It's
what a woman
selfish.
wants.
It's
A woman wants you
selfish.
to take charge of the
Kill her?
situation. In that situation, yeah.
I don't know. I think because it's
It's not killing her.
It's not ever gonna happen. So it doesn't
Because look
matter.
at
I'm
it.
not gonna
Look
go
at it
too
this
far.
way: on a constant basis, we talk about how we're gonna have to find each other in the next life because we found each other so late in this one. We have to make up for it by finding each other quickly. So if one of us goes early, the other one's knowing shit. What if our next life we're a fucking butterfly and we only live for 3 days? I better get to trucking, otherwise I might not meet her again. That's romantic.
So if she would have died tomorrow,
See, I'm getting teary eyed. I'm thinking of like a romantic novel
It's the
about us being
Notebook. They
bugs.
go together. They come back together.
They don't come back as bugs.
No, I mean, what? Okay, well, what if you come back as a bug? She comes back as a whale. Then you die as the butterfly, and you come back as a whale.
Well, then that was meant to be, but I don't
That's
see that
what I'm
happening.
saying. Wouldn't that be
Chase.
the
That'd
meant
a
to be
big
part?
No,
That you
no.
get through multiple generations and come back together.
Yeah,
I
but
just think about the Notebook and how they died together and how.
well, my book. I want my book to every chapter we see each other. You're talking about chapters where you got to go do other shit. If I'm a whale, I'm not gonna like not be fucking other whales, you know. So I don't want to be put in the situation where I'm whale fucking. She's out fucking other
So you
ladybugs.
want to be like a spring fly? We come back together for 3 days. and
Next
then
time we're
we
together, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not into big butts and big boobs anymore. Now I'm into whales. Maybe that's why some people are chubby chasers. In a past life, they were a whale, and they just feel natural when they're with a big woman who's juicy.
Nah, chubby chasers like me because I actually watched a video the other day. It cracked me up. She goes, I look at a big dude and I see somebody that makes poor life decisions. She was like, he'll stay up late and eat the Oreos. I just started laughing. I was like, no, because Casey stays up and eats the ice cream. So I was like, that's not a good analogy.
Dude, there's a hilarious fucking show on cable, right? Not cable. I feel like an old man. Show ideas. Okay.
You are an old man.
It's called The Four Seasons. If you've seen it, that's great. If you haven't, has Steve Carell and a bunch of other really fucking funny people.
Tell me about it. I want to watch.
There's a quote from it where Steve Carell, he's talking about his wife who he wants to leave, and he's trying to convince people why he wants to leave her after so many years. And he says, I can't be with a woman who has to take a couple practice steps before stepping on an escalator.
Hey, shots fired, Asia.
Shots fired, Asia. It's a continent.
She's not wrong. She's
I know.
telling the truth.
You only relive it. I was there. You ain't Eminem. I'm Eminem.
Hey, tell him that. Casey goes, country. She goes, the continent.
Here you go,
Casey
country.
just walks out the door, don't say shit. He just like got me. Like, it was like the defeated 10-year-old that's like, fuck.
That was funny though. That's a funny show. 4 seasons. I can't wait to go watch some more of it.
No, that's one.
Better not be watching it, woman. I'll be throwing you in a volcano with you.
So
Be the
you
whale.
can go on without her, but she
Yeah.
can't go on without you.
I'm the ladybug. I'm the ladybug. You be the whale. It's gonna be an ongoing like
Oh, real shit.
whenever we play fight.
Look, I was gonna say I'll be over there one day and I'll just hear you spazzing.
I'll
You're
pick up
gonna
one of
be
the
up
knives
there.
I make. I'll make you a ladybug right now.
Like, real shit. Oh man,
That's funny.
dude, y'all have a funny relationship. Y'all crack me up. You remind me of Asia and me.
Dude, you
Talk
guys are
shit.
funny. When you
Oh,
guys get off hinged and everything, you guys are funny.
We just talking shit. Life is nothing. Should be filled with laughter when you get home, right?
Yeah, you gotta have
Home
ups
is
and
your
downs
escape.
too. So let the downs come from somewhere else, but it shouldn't be from within.
Home is supposed to be your escape. That's
Home
where
is
I was
where the
going
heart
with that. So if you can't laugh at home, you should probably get out.
Hey, you're talking to Mr. Escape, and that's actually something I was talking about today with somebody at work. It's like, man, if you can just do what your kick is. Because I was thinking, my buddy Ryan talks about throwing frisbees so much. It's that time of year, frisbee golf. Dude, that has a fucking following. People follow people who make custom discs. He tells me about it. He dresses weird. I love the guy. But it's like, and I was like, if you can just drop what you're doing and do your kick, he's like, man, if I can travel the country playing disc golf and, doing stuff like with discs and make that my job, that would be my dream. I was like,
He could potentially do that though.
I said, do it. He's like, I can't. I got to work. I was like,
It's
then
funny 'cause
I
he
said, then
said
you're
the
never
same
going to
thing to
do
me.
it.
I literally said the exact same thing to him. Go do it. I can't. I gotta work, dude. If you're
If
really good,
that's
you
your
get good
real
at
goal-
it. But if you get good at it, like I told him, people sponsor you, people pay you. Like,
You got kids and responsibilities. I get that, but when you talk about a true passion and
your
a
kid is
true
gonna love
something,
to say, "That's my dad," now and forever.
not
Always.
not only the indescribable feeling of taking that first step off of a cliff unknowing and then catching your fall and catching that goal, and you sacrificed potentially everything you know of and you got it. That feeling, you have that once and you want to have it again.
And if you don't hit it, then remember, how would you do it? What happens is when you go all that in, and if that fails, a lot of the times the other end of the stick
Dude,
happens.
if
But
I ever tell you I just ordered a tiger, you should be
I would
definitely
be
concerned.
extremely concerned.
Definitely concerned.
Look, even if you I ordered a large house cat today. I'd be like,
The
what?
manliest man I know died today by a big pussy.
Was killed by a Maine Coon. Like, what the fuck? Wasn't the chickens?
The chickens turned on him?
That'd be
The
crazy.
chickens? Dude,
Man.
I got a confession to make with the chickens. No, it's not that.
It's like,
Pervert. You
all right, this is
pervert.
not where we're going, horny.
Last night, we let them free range. Last night, I went outside to put them in the coop. None of them gave me problems except for this one hen. She ran down behind the tree line and just started squawking. And I was throwing rocks at her, like, get your ass up here.
Not at her, but in the vicinity.
Well, in the vicinity, I tried to throw rocks behind her to scare her forward. She wouldn't come up. I was thinking, I'll just go out there later. Because I really wanted to make some ice cream. Because I had some cookies.
This addiction.
I
This addiction.
Oh my God, maybe it is an addiction. It led to the death of a bird. Let me elaborate.
I know where we're going.
Went inside, I had the cookies and cream ice cream shake. It was delicious. I took the blade out like I usually do, so I save on dishes and I just eat right out of the container. So good. I didn't go back outside and check on the bird. And when I went out this morning, I saw feathers, not in a good way. It was actually the feathers were in the place where they usually go when they get lost or something, they come back. So if I had gone out there and let it in the coop, it'd still be living. But I was like, in my head, in the back of my mind,
Dumb bitch should have
like,
listened.
maybe it'll stay alive. But it's just one bird. And this
What?
morning, I was like, it was
Just one bird.
And this morning, I woke up and it was like, it was just one bird, but I feel bad.
Dude,
In my heart of hearts, I feel
it
bad.
sounds to me like you were kind of like,
I was
that bitch will
lazy.
learn tonight.
I really wanted some ice cream. That's part of it.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
I found the carcass when I got home.
Oh, yeah, the dog was licking it.
Probably. Or
Yeah,
when humping
I threw it in the
this picture
compost.
It looks like your dog Lucius is humping your turkey in the picture.
What?
That's what it looks like.
Oh no, they're both looking at.
I
at something.
know.
Indefinitely.
I know what is happening.
Yeah.
But no. As far as you were a bad farm owner last night.
Yes, I was a bad farm order. So my kick is knives and chickens. So if I can transition over to that from work at some point in my life, that would be badass. If I try to fast forward it too much, I can really tip the boat and knock away everything I worked hard for. So that's my stance on that. But anyways, if you had to do your passion, what would it be? Mr. Bonds.
Competitive shooting.
Competitive shooting.
Yeah, I'd be signed to like Kimber or CZ shooting league and shooting team. Travel. To do demonstrations. Spread my love. Show people how it can be used as a tool to achieve major dreams. Because if you ever seen a speed shooting competition, motherfuckers moving around, 3-stage tier shooting, shotgun, rifle, pistol, like that shit. The skill set behind that's true John Wick shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was gonna be my true like
passion,
it would be being on like a competitive shooting team. But now I'm too fat and too slow. You got to be in shape. They got.
I was going to ask if you're
out
going to
there
lose weight for that. If you're going to do it
well,
at your current
again,
status.
I wouldn't be able to do it now anyway. The top shooters in the world are normally anywhere between 21 and honestly, there's some lower than that. At 14, one of the shooters is
You know
a
what?
killer.
When you compete against yourself, you hit higher things than just competing.
Yeah, but if you're doing it
if you
for a
go in
living,
saying, "Oh, I can't beat the best person in the world, so I'm not
Again.
going to do it. I'll just continue being like this."
again,
Then it's just the thought that never
I-
blossoms.
maybe that works for you, but for me, I think it's a realistic situation of it would be too far ahead in life. You know what I mean? Like if I had something like maybe I was into sailing, that'd be something at an older age I could get into. You know what I mean? Like as far as going to Creve Coeur Lake and compete, but I wouldn't be able to do it competitive. Like
You have to lose
if
weight.
No, it has nothing to do with losing weight. Like it has to do with.
Well, sailing, would you go faster?
I mean, I think anything you'll do faster if you're losing weight.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that this is the thing. Casey doesn't understand how comfortable I am in my own skin.
How about bowling?
I did that because you can see at the top of my thing, I have bowling league, or I got bowling balls up there.
I tripped over a
But
trophy the other day.
Casey can't stand. No, he didn't because I don't have any.
I can
bowling
stand. I
trophies.
choose to sit during our show, and I take offense to that. My buddy Scotty can't stand, and I can't stand when people bring that up. You're welcome, Scotty.
Hey, actually, my guy Steve DeClue is doing that, Paula. It's actually pretty badass.
What'd she say?
I'd love to go investigate old barns. I'm fascinated with old
Oh,
decaying
yeah, she
buildings,
talks about that all the
especially
time.
barns.
She points at this one. I was like, no, somebody lives there. That's like called trespassing. She's like, I just want to walk through the place.
Is it over there by y'all?
Yeah, it looks
mean,
like nobody lives there, but
Is it the one at the corner when you come up to turn and they got the old Ram truck?
yeah, and every
I
now
think
and
the
then
same shit every time.
Yep,
But I know that somebody lives there because there's a goddamn billy goat.
and every now and then there's the trucks parked in a different spot. So
I didn't notice. I just noticed one day there was a billy goat.
they had
another
billy
day there
goats there
wasn't.
recently, and goats are too expensive. Otherwise, I'd find some. That'd be cool to have a goat.
But great for maintaining the land.
Yeah, the
Even
chickens are
guys.
doing good with the ticks. I've only had 3 ticks on me so far this year. You saw 2 of them.
I did. This man pulled
That was
fucking
creepy.
tick out from behind his fucking ear. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was like in the car. I was like,
And then he's
where's
like,
the itch? And I was like,
why don't you
oh,
come over? I'm like, bruh, I told you, ticks. Like, oh, they're not that bad.
it was one
The
crawling
fuck?
on my
What?
ear.
Yeah, like they're terrible. It looks horrible right now.
Anytime I feel a tickle, that'll wake you up in the middle of the night in the country. It's like, for a second, think there's a tick somewhere in the bed. Any type of a little brush, little thing, it's like, oh, it's probably a tick. You start squeezing and pulling out hair. You just don't even care. Okay, it doesn't get that extreme.
That's
Doesn't
crazy.
get that extreme.
Always get tested for Lyme's disease. That's a terrible thing.
Well, usually you get sick and they'll find it, but you want to.
But if they don't find it, I tell you.
If you,
just let
if you got tested for Lyme disease every time you got bit by a tick, you'd spend way too much time at the fucking emergency room.
I've never been bit by a tick.
You never had a tick in you?
No,
A tick never put himself inside you at all.
no,
Never broke the skin.
no. And my family's from Perryville. We used to be down there all the time, and I've found them on me, but I've never had one in me. And my family, both of my grandparents had Lyme's disease. I believe one of my aunts had Lyme's disease. It's a big thing from ticks. That's a big thing. Like,
Do you think
if
maybe
get
your
bit,
you
should
think
get
maybe your
tested.
bud's bitter, or like doesn't taste good? Do you take it as like maybe it's you?
No, I don't.
'Cause I get ticks all the time,
You're also
all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I
you're
don't.
also in the country.
Yeah, no, that's a good
Where I
point.
don't. If I saw ticks out here, I would just throw some shit down in my yard and get rid of them.
Hey, in all fairness, ticks scared the fuck out of me when I first moved here to Missouri. I'm from California originally. We didn't have ticks. I never had a tick. I heard about them. Come out here, and I got a job at Charter Communications. Started working in Jefferson County. Walked through the brush. One day, I'm taking a shower. What's this? Oh my God! Freak out! Yeah, it freaked me out the first couple times, but after your first 5 or 6 ticks, it's no big deal. You don't even care if you get the head anymore. You just throw some alcohol on it.
That's wild. Like that's, and it's funny because I talk to my family from the country like, fuck that, get that out of the skin, get it out the baby, get it off the baby. Ticks have always been a big thing. That don't. Then again, down there, they're in the country. I don't know. I believe it's from them biting deer that gives it to them, right? It's some weird combo of how it occurs.
I don't
but
know. Our chickens they free range so much out in the yard that I
They
think.
probably eat them.
Oh, I mean this time last year we didn't have nearly as many chickens, so definitely they mow through that yard. They start
How?
on one side.
How? When you've seen more ticks this year than you've ever seen. I've seen more ticks this year than I've ever seen. and it was on you.
Wasn't that bad. That was a coincidental
We're in the
situation.
fucking car.
2
This
days in a row.
motherfucker goes,
2 days
"That's
in
a
a row
tick."
in the call.
I look over. I'm like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, that's a tick." The fuck?
And one was on my arm. I knocked it off, and that one I threw out the door.
The other was in his ear, and he pulled that shit clean out.
Yeah.
Then he gonna look at me like, "Why didn't I tell him?" I'm like, "I don't inspect you like a monkey." What the fuck?
Is it? Is it?
Is what?
Is it racist? That's it. No, it's actually gorgeous hair, and anybody would want to play with my hair like a monkey. Like
I was talking
golden
behind
locks.
your ear. It wasn't in your hair.
Just saying, you'd have to get through the hair.
I know not all ticks carry Lyme's disease. That's why I said I'm.
Yeah,
pretty
these are
sure it comes
babies.
from
These are new
Lyme,
ticks.
like or biting deer. There's a sequence how it happens. No, I sure when I say I was taught about that before I was taught about AIDS. Real shit. That's a big deal in the country. So
I ain't getting bit by gay dudes. Ticks, that's a real deal.
if you get bit, hey, I really want to go to the mall with a camera and have you dress to impress with your luscious locks. But I want you to dress manly as can be, right? But the moment we walk in and we go to the register and you go to check out, I want you to. So that's gonna be and just bust out a different voice that they would never expect. And then look at me like, let's go. Doug, do you know how bad we would fuck up a store worker at Target? Do you like if me and you were
Man.
working and we walked through the line and they thought that was the couple they just saw, and you're buying rope, lubricant, and some other shit?
Oh, that'd be too over the top.
No.
I don't know if I can do that.
No, you buy regular things with it, Reese's, the things you want for after, ice cream. And not like big industrial rope, right? Like maybe like a bungee cord or something. Something that looks like you couldn't figure out what it is, but give a little resistance. And then just the last thing you slide up is the lubricant or baby oil. Just be like, it's gonna be a good night. You could pull it off, but like I'd have to do the look like I'd do this. I'd be like,
no, I mean going like, it's Friday.
and the whole time I'm just in the back.
The joke I made at Walmart once with ammunition. Oh my God. I've made a few jokes before buying ammunition. This is immature Casey when he was an alcoholic, and I'd buy rounds just do target shooting. But when I bought the ammo, I was usually with my family. So the first time was more innocent. He put down the shells that I wanted, and I was like, I grabbed him, I slid him towards me. I said, "We'll see whose property line it is." Yeah, that was funny. The guy didn't laugh at all. He just told me the
I'm
price.
shocked he sold you the ammo to tell you the truth.
And the second time, I was like, my family wasn't paying attention, but I walked to the counter. It's hard to find the size shell that I was looking for at the time. This was a bad joke. I looked at the guy. I looked at my family. I said, "Can I get 7 bullets, please?"
He laughed, didn't he?
He just stared at me until I asked what I really wanted. But it was looking back, I was like, "Oh, that's such a bad joke."
Hey, he probably didn't know if you were serious for fake. He didn't have a clue what to say to you.
That was funny.
That I would laugh, but then I'd probably like hit the panic button at the same time. Like I'd laugh so you're funny, but hey, we need to get this guy shot just in case.
Now, a funny thing I said with the full family behind me is getting out the minivan, sliding the door. The kids are running ahead of me. I'm holding one of them like this. My wife and I are getting out. This is right in front of a friggin' like a not TGI Fridays, but Buffalo Wild Wings.
Mm.
And as I'm closing my door, a Corvette pulls up next to me with the top down, and some dude, some hot chick, just fucking. I look at him. I go, "What is that, seat 2?" I started laughing. I walk inside. That was more innocent. It was
Yeah, that's funny.
Not as funny as the 1, 2, 3, 7. Anyways, we all know you wouldn't get just one per person. It would be 2 per person. You've all seen movies. Dude, think about a situation where you would need to have more than one just in case, right?
Gorilla.
The gorilla,
Like the gorilla.
like the gorilla. How many
Oh,
shots
shit.
do you think it would take to take down a gorilla?
Depends on the round.
Okay, let's keep it. Let's go small and work our way up. A 22, taking down a gorilla. Holy shit.
Okay, so it depends on who's controlling the firearm.
Okay,
You've seen me shoot. If I put one on its eye, yeah, it's gonna do some damage. But do I get a shot before it's tripping, or do I have to shoot it while it's rushing me? These are things that make huge variable differences because my heart rate's gonna go up if it's coming at me versus if I have a moment
Okay.
to brace myself.
here's a
to
way
take
of
a
here's a
shot.
way of wording it without giving a bunch of situational deals that could take forever. Here you go. Hey Stacy, see that gorilla over there? Well, you got 2 hands and this 22. How many bullets you want? And you got
It's a
pockets you
Ruger
can fill up.
1022. Give me a 25 round mag.
25 rounds at least.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, not at least. At 25, it's gonna go down.
25.
The first 2 or 3 are going straight through the eye.
All right, all right. Let's
Then I
say
gotta run
say
and then
38.
turn around and just panic until hopefully, I mean, we're probably dead together, but it did die. Just at the end of the day, it probably got a hold of me, and it didn't have a chance for all the 22s to do everything it needed to do. And so
How about-
I died in the process.
How about arrows? Potentially
I'm not
one,
gonna
right?
lie. I mean, that's a true statement. A potential one shot
One shot,
if
one
you got
kill.
the right arrow tip.
Yeah. I mean, I
Is
saw
Are you
a
shooting it out of a
picture.
crossbow, or are you shooting it off of a compound or a standard?
Let's say a recurve. Because I have a
And
recurve, and I
it's going to
know.
depend on the pound that you got on the pool and the arrow tip.
I think whether it's 45 or 90, it's going to do the job.
A lot, yeah, 45 fucking arrows. If you could put 45 arrows in it,
No, 45-pound pressure.
I think you'd have to be at least closer to 65.
I don't know. Hypothetical
That's just because of how
situation.
thick the fucking fur is, right? Like, obviously, you don't need a huge pressure on a deer, but I don't know how thick gorilla skin is.
My point is, you take out your family with 2 apiece. Anyways,
That's wild.
with the
That's wild.
and with the weather being as great as it is, I hope everybody's planting shit soon. I'm actually going on a 5-day vacation here, do a bunch of planting. So it's that time. Don't pass
What do you
it up.
plant besides peppers?
Man, not only do I got pepper, like my butter Peter Piper, but we also got a bunch of cucumbers. We didn't get the cucumbers yet because we're gonna put those
So you
in.
don't have a bunch of cucumbers,
Not yet, but we're going to.
but you don't. So
We're going to.
What are you planting?
We're
that you
gonna have
have?
a horseshoe amount of plants of green bean. When I say horseshoe amount, we're talking like
What's a horseshoe amount?
shit. I would imagine at least 50
50 green beans?
50
Or 50
plants.
green bean plants.
green bean plants.
Take that to the market.
Dude,
Wanna
we're
pickle some?
we might run our fucking well dry of water with all the plants we're having. So with
Oh,
all
you wanna
that,
pickle? I'm curious because I think
the
pickled green
cucumbers-
beans might be good.
hey, the cucumbers, the reason why we're doing so much this year on cucumbers is we did find a pickling recipe that was the bee's knees butterscotch. Like everybody tried to pickles. Like, man, I didn't like pickles before, but I'll suck for this pickle. That's
I
how
didn't
good
try
they
that
are.
Pickle.
No, and that's why I didn't give you one because I don't want to be friends like that, Stacy.
I didn't try.
My
Oh,
point being, you can also pickle green beans. I did that a bunch. You can pickle peppers. So everything we pickle is going to be sellable. And before you pickle them, if you have an abundance, you don't have time to pickle them right away. Before they go soft, before your cucumbers go soft on you, you put in a big vat of ice water with a bunch of salt in it. You stick it in the fridge, and it keeps the hardness like Viagra. It's like a vegetable Viagra, and it elongates it for a week. You have to actually pickle them, so you can find time, dedicate a weekend, get a shit ton of bottles, and
Nice
make
and
that
so
dollar.
you got a
Then
pressure
you buy
cooker?
the Lamborghinis, and then you get the women,
You got a
and then
pressure
you
cooker?
get the tigers.
You got a pressure cooker?
I don't think so.
You need one of that.
Yeah, my boys got me with the pressure cooker.
This guy. What else we doing for the week vacation?
Get my stitches out. Making a planter box from my mom. So, mom, if you're still awake, making the planter box. I'm probably going to be enjoying a lot of nature and barbecue. What are you
Thought
doing?
you were gonna say make knives.
Oh my God! If you
You
don't
got your
think
first client lined up, and you're not gonna.
If you
Make a
don't think
knife.
this is going to be finished by the time I'm on the show next, you are bananas. There are shell casings that are going in that are the pins to hold the. It's going to look friggin' sick. It's going to be a work of art. And I had another buddy that heard the ideas for that, and he was already like, "Bro, I want you to make me one. I'll give you $150." I said, "I got you."
This thing
So
is
if you want
so-
something custom, dude, I take a lot of pride in my shit. This is the one I'm keeping, and I would expect better for my customers. And this alone, I'm just blown away. So
can't wait to see how balanced it comes out. You know, it's forged on fire. They're like, eat wheel.
it will kill. I actually play that on YouTube, and I put it on my odometer while I'm driving. Not to watch it, but I listen to it, and I pick up a lot of tips and forge mistakes, and I learn lessons off other people's mistakes. So I feel as if I would be
This
a
time
contestant.
next year, you're going to be able
Dude,
to see him on
you're gonna
Forged
see
in
me.
Fire. He'll
Mm.
be on Forged in Fire. And he's also going to have a bunch of knives for you to choose from. You're going to send him your style at Casey Falcon Grin.
If
on
you have any
YouTube.
ideas,
Yep.
handle ideas,
There you go.
anything. I like custom shit. I will make it pop. And as soon as this hand is good enough to grip my iron forks, I'll start hammering away and making some
I
shit.
thought you said you had a Casey's thought this week.
Dude, I did, and I got a video for it, but I didn't send it to you. So actually, I videotaped it when I had the thought, but it was actually. Uh, I don't need to get into it right now. What time is it?
It is 7:57.
7:57. Okay, I will finish up with this thought because I was actually in my car and there's a little gnat and it was flying around. And when I was on this level, I was like leaned back and I was just like thinking deep shit. And I was like, oh, this little gnat. And I went to go like grab it and kill it. And I was like, this thing has a fucking life. This thing is flying circles right now. I don't know why. It could be like chasing something smaller I don't see, playing a game, trying to attract somebody. And out of nowhere, like a fucking bus, a disgusting big dirty hand's gonna come and end your life and throw you out the window. So I stopped for a second and I was like, does it get cut off? Okay, so if you saw a bug on the ground and you didn't want to adjust your step and you thought, oh, who cares, it's the bug, and you step on it, would you be cool with that? Okay, cool. Now, if you're driving and a snake slithers under one of your wheels and it dies, do you not feel bad at all? I mean, where is you stop for a second and say, I just killed a life. I didn't have to.
So at what point do we value life?
Because I was thinking the same person that is willing to pull the wings off of a fly, for example, I think it is the same person that has potential to rip the arms off of a child or a baby or mutilate something to see what it looks like on the inside. I think there's a separation and a line where it's in a nutshell, I killed the fucking gnat, and but
Serial killers start with cats. That's what they say.
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I'm Stacy.
I'm Casey.
You guys have a great night.